Coming in at number 19 on our list is Crown from Samsung Galaxy. This guy has a bit of a spread from rankings. I have him 19, which is his aggregate ranking. Deficio has him at 15th. Spawn has him at 26th. Let's start with the high-ranking Deficio.
Yeah.
Why do you have him at 15?
Well, first of all, because I'm the positive guy, I'm not the hater like Spawn who puts him outside of the top 20. This guy, if you look at just the summer split for Samsung, absolutely fantastic to watch him play. Mechanically, he's one of the most gifted players in the world, honestly, not just for mid laners, but just overall. This guy plays so much solo queue, so much practice. He just gets better and better and better. If you look at every single split he's played for Samsung, he's just gotten better over time. This split specifically, the team's damage, like percent damage, he deals 32% of that. That's the highest of any player in LCK. Like, he just carries that team into playoffs. Okay, in playoffs they lose to KT, and then obviously have to face them again in regionals, where he had some good games and some bad games. So I think there's some inconsistency issues, which is why I can see people ranking him lower. But I think this guy is so good mechanically that he will actually challenge every single mid laner at this tournament. He will beat most of them. And that's why he's actually very high on my list, and also because he's so important for this team.
Yeah, even though I have him at 19, you have him at 15, for both of us, he's the third best mid laner at Worlds.
Yes.
Just wanted to point that out.
Yes.
Spawn, I want to let you go now to, bring everybody down, show the negative part of the conversation. You had him at 26.
I don't want to bring him down too much. I mean, he's kind of Mike Jensen, but from Korea. I think that individually he's a fantastic player. Maybe it is the team letting him down a little bit, because I didn't see a lot out of Samsung during the regular season. They got much better during their run into Worlds. But when I look at Crown, I look at young mid laner, very inexperienced, that hasn't been able to do it on an international stage yet, and questionable champion pool. I'm not going to say he has a shallow champion pool. I mean, if you don't force him on things, but he has a big variance between the Victor, the Varus, and the Azir to everything else he plays. And I also think that in a meta that will be tossed around a little bit at Worlds, the lack of assassins hurts his credibility. Not that you have to be an assassin player, but you have to be able to show it. He only has a LeBlanc. So when I look at Crown, I think, yeah, he could be great, but I don't know yet.
And this is what makes it so hard for me to rank him, right? 18 Victor games, next closest was 6. Unproven on the international scene, but really good regular season numbers as far as his CS differential. It was around 5. His damage percentage, as you said, was incredibly high in the regular season. But then I watched the regional qualifiers, and he loses both sides of the Lissandra Zillion matchup, and then he also got 3-0'd by KT in the playoffs, along with the rest of the team, right? Like, there's so much variance on this guy, and the people that are close to him, they know how hard he practices. When the rest of Samsung took a quick break after the end of the regular season, he stayed in the team house alone, practicing over and over and over again, just to continue to grind, because he's so excited to show himself on the international stage. But he's unproven, so I couldn't necessarily move him higher than this.
Well, again, I agree on some of the inconsistent points here, especially against KT, in the regional qualifier. But if you ignore those 2 games where he lost, the mirror match, you look at the games he played before that, especially like one of his Victor games. Yes, it is his signature pick.
One of the 18 Victor games.
One of the many Victor games. What he's doing on that champion and as a mid laner is just fantastic, because he has full control of the mid lane, and he doesn't just sit in the mid lane. I think one of the criticisms for someone like Maple and why he's not in my top 20 is because he focuses on his own lane and he stays around that. Crown goes to other lanes, he impacts other lanes, he goes to the jungle with ambition. He's almost everything for this team, together with ambition. These 2 guys holding hands are kind of carrying the rest here. And to your point about not playing assassins, he plays LeBlanc already. He plays Syndra a lot in solo queue. He has a lot of these different picks ready. It's not like any mid laner looking at the entire year has played a lot of assassins, because they haven't been meta for the entire year. So this guy, with the amount he practices, with the bootcamp coming in, I think he's going to have 0 issues with champion pool. I think he's going to be, as I said earlier, one of the absolute best mid laners, and that is enough for me to put him actually very high on my list. Also because I think Samsung is a very underrated team who will surprise a lot of people.
Spawn, final words?
I think that that's where it comes down to. I think that if Samsung succeed and have a fantastic World, a lot of the, praise will be heaped on Crown. He is, as I said, probably the shining star on that team.
Gambling
However,
a little bit.
I'm not so hyped on Samsung. I think that Crown's good, but is he top 20? I hope to be proven wrong, because he's very exciting.
Officially by our aggregate list, he is top 20. He's number 19. He is the highest ranked player from Samsung and the 3rd highest mid laner on our list. That'll do it for Crown.